Hi, this is episode 14, I think, of Clobbering Time with Craig, and I've got the one-armed bandit with me again, Chris. Basically this week we're going to talk about what's been happening on Raw with Cody Rhodes and a match that's been announced for tonight, as well as talking about the fact that TNA fan interaction tickets went on sale the other day. Also talking a bit about TNA Impact from last night, as well as I thought I'd talk about NXT as well, try and get people to watch it who haven't basically watched it yet, and basically tell them about what they're missing out on. Also I'm going to talk about a subject we were talking about on Facebook, worst wrestlers of all time, and then at the end I'm going to briefly mention RetroWrestling.com. Right, let's start off with Raw. You should be able to. I can see you through my phone.
Honestly, I can't see you.
Well, you won't see me anyway because I'm behind you. How you gonna see me when I'm next to you? Apart from that.
Okay, right, I can see your hand now. Normally I'm able to see you.
Really? Well, you must be able to see my phone.
No, I can't.
It don't matter. As long as you can hear me, that's all that matters.
I can hear you.
Yeah, Raw. We had Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, where basically if Cody lost, he would be fired. And basically Randy Orton won the match, and Cody Rhodes got fired. And Cody Rhodes actually did quite a good little brief promo backstage before leaving, which I was saying to my sister Karen, that really they should have had that in the ring. Because it was kind of like a very small pipe bomb sort of speech, but it was too short and it was wasted backstage. I'd like to see him when they bring him back, is him be in the ring and cut a promo on what he thinks of him and all that, like he was doing the other night, because that would be really cool. And yeah, basically what's led from that is tonight on Raw we've got Randy Orton versus Goldust. Who don't know how the match will be, as Goldust hasn't wrestled for a while. But it'll be interesting anyway, just because it goes with the storyline. And basically, if Goldust wins and Cody apologises, Cody gets his job back.
I don't expect Goldust to win.
No, I think Goldust is going to get destroyed, to be honest. But yeah, with the whole Daniel Bryan getting beat up, I hope they don't do it too often. There has to be a point where he gets some sort of advantage, because there's no point just battering him week in, week out.
Well, yeah, tonight I think they could go with it where he just maybe escapes the ring or something like that.
Yeah, I think they need to have like this story where they start revolting against them or something.
But I don't know why, but I expect Big Show to join.
Yeah, I was saying this the other week. I wouldn't be surprised if Big Show is acting and he's really part of Triple H's team, and I wouldn't be surprised if he cost Daniel Bryan at Night of Champions.
Yeah.
To be honest, I prefer Big Show as a baddie because it works better for someone like him, don't it?
Well, could you imagine Big Show in a suit?
Well, we've seen it before, but yeah.
I think he does suit it though. He does play a brilliant baddie.
Sure, that promo though with Stephanie and Big Show is a bit close to the bone, where she said to him about giants don't live to an old age.
Yeah,
That's actually quite common. It's quite true that they don't, because they get this illness what Andre Giant died of, which I've heard Big Show does have that, but because you've got medication now, you can treat it and obviously keep them alive for a lot longer. But yeah, it was quite close to the bone, that bit, because it is very true that. Now, I don't know how true it is about him blowing all his money though. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's a weird one.
Yeah, it was interesting. And we haven't seen the Wyatts that much since SummerSlam. They've been doing their promos, building to stuff,
Not
but
any good promos.
obviously they're gonna. I get the feeling at some point the Diva's gonna be put in the Wyatt family, and I personally, I think it'll be Paige, it'll be Sister.
Yeah,
Either that or someone, I don't know who it was the other day, if it was you or someone else said that the ideal person for the Sister of the Wyatt family would actually be Victoria.
Yeah.
Which could be, it makes sense because of how Victoria was when she first came to WWE. It kind of it would work for me. It would work more than I think Paige would. Paige, I'd rather see her as a Paul Heyman girl.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
So I think she'd do better in that role. But yeah, I'm not sure they'd bring Victoria back just because I think she's 41 now, and you know what they're like with age. If you're not young, they don't really want you, do they? To be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying Raw at the moment.
I'm actually loving it, to be honest with you. You know, I think it's looking really good and everything like that. I'm loving Ryback's character as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do like the whole bully thing, and he makes me laugh the way he walks to the ring with his legs swinging in the air like he's got some sort of disease down there or something like that, or some sort of skin reaction.
I don't know if any of the viewers expect it, but I do expect someone to confront him from NXT. I don't know why I'm feeling.
I don't know, I'd imagine someone bigger than that for him. You know, it's a shame we're not coming close to the WrestleMania period, because this would have been the perfect time to bring out Goldberg.
Oh, God, yeah.
It would be like the whole thing when Goldberg came out on The Rock when he first made his debut on Raw.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the rumoured matches, Goldberg against Ryback, but whether Goldberg actually does it or not is another thing. I mean, they're doing a Goldberg DVD which is coming out soon, so there's a chances, and you know what I'd love to see at WrestleMania, just because they're on good sides now, is the Ultimate Warrior do some sort of... There's someone talking in the ring, I don't know, any swagger or something, go moaning about America and all that, or I could have Antonio and the manager with him, and all of a sudden Ultimate Warrior music hits, and he comes sprinting to the ring and beats him up. And just does his little shaking of the ropes. That'd be so cool to see that one more time, you know.
Oh, God, don't. Goodness me. One of my favourite growing up.
Yeah, he was awesome. That would be cool to see something like that. I mean, you never know, because I could see him being in the Hall of Fame, so you never know.
Obviously, the other day, I think someone asked him, and he said there's no plans for it, but he's not going to give that away, is he?
And it's also quite early anyway. I don't think they start planning that quite yet anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying to Karen the other day, I can't believe it's only 2 months, I think, until WrestleMania tickets will be going on sale.
You know what? I think it's just quick.
Yeah, it has. I mean,
It's going to be awesome anyway.
it's been 5 months since WrestleMania already, and we're already talking about the next lot of tickets.
Yeah. And the thing is, you've got to do that, haven't you?
Yeah,
But
my
what I'm looking forward to on Raw, and I tell you what, for me, he has got to be one of the best wrestlers to have been in the ring and to perform in the ring and everything like that. He's been in the best matches, and that's the rated R Superstar Edge. I can't wait.
yeah, I'd actually forgotten about that until you said that. Yeah, I
It's going to be awesome.
don't know what he's going to do. If he's just going to, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of confrontation with someone. Now maybe.
I think he's going to be out in the ring. This is what I think. I'm going to say it anyway. I think he'll come out in the ring, and I think Ryback's going to do something. He won't physically hurt him.
Yeah, because they can't to his neck.
No, he won't do nothing to him. But what I mean, he'll come out ready to do something to him, and someone's going to save him, and I think it could be Christian or something. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
So I mean, the thing with Edge is, like, they say he can't wrestle now, but the same thing was said about Shawn Michaels in the early 2000s, wasn't it, where he couldn't wrestle again. Then eventually he had some sort of medical treatment or something, and he was able to come back.
Yeah,
So who's to say that one day Edge won't be able to do the same?
yeah, of course. But I'm really looking forward to him coming back. He's literally coming home, isn't he, really?
Yeah, I personally won't be surprised if we see some sort of confrontation with him and Randy.
Yeah, it could be that as well.
Or even Del Rio, because of, you know, Del Rio was his last match.
Yeah, or even Sandow. You just don't know, do you? You don't know.
Yeah, I do expect Christian to be involved in some way or another, just because it's Edge and Christian thing.
Yeah, and obviously, when he does come back, you watch what the fans are all going to go, he's going to get the biggest, like, cheer, and everything like that, and it's going to be really good to have him back. And the thing is, I don't know, did he ever sign a new contract, or is he just coming back on his own?
No, I don't think he had this short-term contract a while back, but then that finished, and it's just on a whenever they need him sort of basis, I think, or whenever he's free.
Yeah.
It's just that sort of deal now.
Going to be on SmackDown as well, so
What? Rob Van Dam and Ricardo. I'm convinced Ricardo's going to screw him.
Yeah, I think that as well. At Night of Champions.
Yeah, there's no way they're on the. He's going to be managing. They just don't look right together. It just doesn't make sense to have him as his manager.
They're going to have Ricardo do that, what you said, to make Ricardo relevant again. You know, it's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously. I reckon he's just taken a bump from Del Rio to set up RVD, and he'll be Del Rio's manager again, won't he?
Yeah.
Because every time he does that promo thing for Rob Van Dam, it just doesn't sound right. It's like it doesn't work. Just doing Del Rio sort of thing.
Yeah.
Don't you think with Fandango they've kind of eased off on him?
Yeah, it's sad really, to be honest with you.
They're interesting for a couple of months, and then they just seem to lose interest. One, the crowd hasn't really helped because they're not doing the whole Fandangoing. They've been lazy with it, whereas we made it, and we're the only ones that keep pushing it, whereas they're just lazy with it.
Yeah, of course. And also another thing, I think Miz has to turn heel, man.
Him as a face just doesn't work. It's frustrating because this guy went from being a main eventer to a face who's just become a mid to lower cards wrestler. It's just, I mean, I'm glad to see. Well, Rose was only in his corner once, but it was nice to see Rosa back for a brief bit. But now you can have Fandango against the Miz for a while, and maybe Rosa will stay in Miz's corner for that. But
Can I bring up, before we go on to, we're going to be talking about NXT, aren't we, you said, but can I just say something before that? What is the point of having Curtis Axel as the Intercontinental Champion? Because has he not, he's defended it, 3 times since he had it?
yeah, and it's not been against the best of. You had the earlier bit where he fought Triple H and Punk and all that, but I mean, I expect Punk to beat him the pay-per-view and then take out Heyman.
Yeah, so to me, with that Intercontinental belt, it's a good belt.
Oh yeah.
It means a lot, and you've had great stuff, Macho Man hold there, Shawn Michaels, Warrior, The Rock, Austin, Triple H, and it takes them on to great things, doesn't it? It brings them on to great things.
Yeah.
Being a champion. Obviously, Curtis Axel's never going to win that. I can't see him winning the championship anyway.
I mean, I know some people like him, but he's never been one that I've really been able to connect with. He doesn't have that Mr. Perfect. He doesn't have the Mr. Perfect aura about him, though.
No, of course.
He doesn't have that.
And my point is, with this Intercontinental belt, they're not giving it justice, are they? They're not.
No, because when he does win, sometimes it's just by count out or things like this against the bigger ones. It's only the lesser ones like Sin Cara that he actually beats clean.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at how he won the Intercontinental belt, it was by pinning Wade when he was in a submission move. It was kind of. That was the only problem I had in the early days when they were pushing him. It was kind of not the right way to be having him win, I don't think.
Definitely.
It didn't. I don't think it made him look strong the way he was winning either. To be honest, I get the feeling they're starting to lose interest.
Well, that's what I think as well, but I just think with the whole Intercontinental title, they need to do something with it. They need to do something and make it more
Meaningful, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You took the word out by my mouth. So, yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to start talking about, because we've been talking about Raw for quite a bit now, so I'm going to start with the TNA fan interaction tickets went on sale on Friday. And as usual, the London one is gone before it even starts. All the other ones seem to be okay. People seem to have no problem getting Birmingham and Manchester. Oh, bloody tickle in my throat. But there's always London. The past couple of years it's been impossible. They did a pre-sale, and that was gone in seconds flat. And then the general sale was gone straight away, right on 9 o'clock. And what annoys me is, you go on to get me in their other Ticketmaster, the old Ticketmaster, their other company, and they're selling them on there for 80 quid. Now, I'm not going to pay 80 quid to be rushed down the line. I mean, my programme hits the end of that table before I'm even halfway. It's like, I nearly lost my programme last time. I was thinking, what the hell is my programme going? You lose sight of it, it's like parcel, and you lose sight of the bloody thing. And the staff put a barrier there, so you can't get a photo. You could take a photo of them, but you can't get a photo with them. How does that make sense? It takes the same amount of time to be in that photo than to take one of them. So what's the difference? I think they forget they're TNA, not WWE, you know. It's like... no, they can't justify it. So I'm not going to pay 80 quid of my money to be rushed through meeting wrestlers. And I don't even know who I'll be meeting. They could stick out bloody Suicide or whatever his blooming name is now. And, or, yeah, they could put bloody Shark Boy out for all I know and get all the duff ones. I mean, they normally do a lot of good ones, but... yeah. I thought there was something wrong with my video for sitting there. I got a message up saying network error, but the thing's still running, so it's okay. I don't know what that was about, network error. Maybe my signal's dropped or something. Yeah, enough of fan interaction, because I only get wound up talking about it, because it's so... TNA make me laugh. You get these little adverts for the British fans over here saying that they love... They definitely care about the fans. But it's like, you first saying to them, well, no, they obviously don't care about the British fans that much, because when they do their fan interactions in America, you get to have a photo, it's a couple of signatures, plus you get to have a photo of them and to chat with every single one of them, and you literally get to meet the whole roster when they do them at the pay-per-views, these fan interactions. Yet they come over here, we get 8 wrestlers is a lot, but you barely get to talk to them. You get to have 2 autographs, you don't know how to have a photo. We've got all these restrictions on us, but in America, they get everything. It's like, well, they obviously don't care about us that much, do they? Even though their ratings are much better over here than they are in America. Because their ratings over here are sometimes better than Raw's.
Yeah.
But over there, they're like in 1.0 and sometimes even lower than that. Total Divas gets better rating than them in America.
Yeah.
But anyway, NXT, for anyone who's been watching lately, best matches so far have been released. Sami Zayn against his series of matches against Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger as well this week. They've definitely been the highlights of the show, but for anyone that doesn't watch it, you've also got the likes of Paige, Emma, who are both will be on the main roster hopefully soon. You've got, as well as, obviously, they've got Antonio Cesaro and Swagger also appearing there a lot. You've got, sometimes you have the Wyatts still on there. You've got, I need to call him Consequences Creed, he's not that anymore, it's Xavier Woods. You've got my favourite tag team that's in there at the moment, the Ascension.
Yeah, they're good.
You've got Kruger, you've got, well, he's not on there at the moment, Cassius Ohno, but he's one of the best ones they got there as well. You've got Adrian Neville, a British bloke, who's really good. Corey Graves as well, who I'm not a massive fan of by any means. I don't much like him. And by seeing him in person, I don't think I get the impression he's not the nicest people either.
Well, we saw him, didn't we?
Yeah, and he wouldn't look at any fans, he just walked straight ahead like they weren't there, and you could see he wasn't interested in even saying hello.
You've got the other guy over you, the one that you was talking about, the one that thinks he's Ziggler, he's on there, isn't he?
Oh yeah, Ty Course, yeah. Can't believe I forgot that. Tyler Breeze as well, he is very much like Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, at first I was baffled by it, but now actually, it's one of those where you don't like it at first, but then you grow to like it and you end up loving it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely got potential.
Is Steamboat's son still on there, or is he not?
I haven't seen him on there, Ricky Steamboat's son, for ages. I know he got injured, but I don't know what's going on. Richie, innit? Because he is good, but I don't know what's happened there. He's gone quiet on that. I don't know if he's still injured or what.
Could be injured.
But on a side note, I heard that Tyson Kidd's back in the ring.
Yeah, I saw pictures of him in the ring.
It was on a house show the other day, wasn't it?
Did he fight Sin Cara or something like that?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't have thought Sin Cara, because that'd be face versus face unless they make Tyson a baddie. But he's another one I'd like to see as a Heyman guy. Because Tyson needs a manager. Because otherwise he's just going to go down the same road that he's always in, isn't he? Just up and down.
Yeah, but definitely overall, I think NXT is improved very much, and I think the viewers need to start maybe making time to watch it.
It's, to be honest, it's definitely worth watching, and it's, to me, it's better, a bit better than TNA, to be honest. No.
I just watch it just for Emma.
Yeah. Emma. I'll watch it. One of the reasons I watch it is for Summer Rae, because I get to watch her wrestle on now. So people talk about Stacy Keibler's legs, but she's got nothing on Summer Rae's legs.
But she's a good wrestler as well, isn't she?
Yeah, she can wrestle, that's the thing. Whereas Stacy Keibler couldn't, could she? Let's face it. I'll talk briefly about Impact last, only briefly, because we've been doing 20 minutes so far.
I didn't see none of Impact, so...
Do you want me to tell you? Right, basically, Mr. Anderson's left the Aces.
Okay.
Bully was fought Sting in a non-title match, and Anderson made out he was going to give the hammer to Bully, but then was like tormenting. You know, like he does when he was a goodie, with his camera taking the piss out of him when he was a goodie.
Yeah.
He's smart, so he was doing that like sort of like that, and then Bully ended up tapping out and lost. But luckily it was a non-title match. And basically Anderson said that next week on Impact it's Bully Ray defending the title against him.
Right, okay. And what about Bound for Glory series? What's going on with that?
There's still... to be honest, I think AJ Styles is going to win it. You've got... Next week, who's the match? It's AJ Styles is fighting... I think he's fighting Daniels. And Jeff Hardy, I think, is fighting Rhodes. I think so, yeah. I would imagine that AJ Styles is going to be in the final, probably against...
No, is he not fighting? What's his name? What's his name? Bloody hell.
Those are the final four, basically.
It's not Daniels, though, is it? What's his name? I can't remember his name now. Why have I gone blank?
So they had the battle royal last night, and I've thrown a blank on who actually won the bloody thing.
Oh,
I think AJ Styles won a battle royal last night. He won that.
yeah,
I'm sure he's fighting Daniels. The final four in it now is AJ, Daniels, Jeff Hardy, and Robert Roode.
No, it's not Daniels, it's the other guy.
It's not Kaz.
Beard.
Beard?
Not Beard, he's got the... God, why have I gone blank, man? For God's sake, I love the guy. He used to be in the tag team with Bobby Roode.
James Storm?
Not James Storm, the other...
Oh, Austin. That's it. Austin Aries, not Daniels. Yes, Austin Aries.
Because I see someone...
Yeah, that's right.
Because someone said...
Yeah, so I don't know what I was thinking. Daniels.
They never fought each other. But they have fought each other. Because I watched it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I still think the main match for whoever's going to be is going to be AJ against Rhodes. And to be honest, I think AJ's going to win the title at Bound for Glory.
Yeah, and I'd love to see it. He
Yeah.
deserves it. And it would be awesome for him to win it.
Because Aces are clearly going bye soon, because all that's left is Bully, a waste of space, Tito Ortiz, who will be gone within the next couple of months anyway. So it's only Bischoff, Briscoe, and what's the name? The beard guy from WE. What's the other guy's name? Mike Knox, yeah. So really, I mean, there's nothing real with strength there anymore. It's been completely weakened. Especially since Devon went, it's just killed it. And you got Taz at commentary, but...
Would you say it was a success?
At first it was, but... Strangely enough, as soon as they announced Bully as the leader, it was going good for about a month, and then they started drifting off. Within a month of him being the leader, they started... Because everyone, the whole excitement of who's the members and who's being revealed and all that, once that went away, they seemed to lose interest in it anymore after that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it was always interesting to see who's a member, who's going to get unmasked and all that. But now that's gone. But anyway, on our Facebook group the other day we were talking about some of the, who we thought some of the worst wrestlers of all time in the WE. Well, most people said Carly. I said Great Carly. Bastion Booger, do you remember him?
I don't remember.
He used to stuff. It was 93, I think. He used to stuff his face all the time. He used to just wear these big pants and some sort of top that looked like he was wearing a bra. He was really fat and bald. Yeah, it was about 93, I think. He was terrible. He used to win by just sitting on their face, which was wrong in so many levels. Another one was the Boogeyman, who was the biggest load of rubbish ever.
Yeah, well, I didn't get that.
But there was quite a few that were really bad. I mean, like, there was Kirsty said the Great Khali, which is a trend on here. Chris Fink said Khali, Man-Eater, which I remember, if I remember roughly, had some sort of cow head or something like that. It was really weird. And also Mordecai as well. You remember Mordecai, didn't you? Who had Ariel.
Yeah, he had the sword, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's and then he became that gimmick in the ECW, didn't he? Of when he had Ariel in his corner.
Yeah.
The only good thing about that gimmick was having her in his corner, basically.
Yeah. I would also say Berserker. Do you remember Berserker?
Yeah. Huss.
Yeah.
Used to win by throwing them outside the ring and winning by count out. Worst finishing move ever.
Do you remember the Red Rooster?
The Red Rooster. Oh, isn't that the guy who ended up working in Productive or something like that? Yeah. I was thinking the Gobbledygooker for a second, but yeah, that's another one. Joe Scott said Zombie, who's ECW. I remember him on when W had their first ECW show. He fought Sandman. I don't know if you saw that. He just came out like a zombie, just walking around like this. It was bizarre. Mario said Hornswoggle, which, yeah, I can agree with that in so many levels. Chris Hill said the fake... Do you remember the fake Rosa Ramon and fake Diesel?
Yeah.
That was brutal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which, don't I remember, the fake Diesel was Kane, wasn't he? I think people have forgotten that. The fake Diesel was actually Kane.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah. Matthew Reed says Vince McMahon, which is a little harsh. I think there was worse than him.
Really? I don't think...
He obviously couldn't wrestle Vince, but, you know, his match is always interesting to watch, just to see him get his ass kicked.
Yeah, he always used to put on a good match on.
But there was many. I mean, even Doink the Clown wasn't the greatest wrestler of all time, was he?
What about Repo Man? Do you remember Repo Man?
Oh, yeah, Smash of Demolition he was, yeah. It's the gimmick. He wasn't, as a wrestler, he was fine. It was the gimmick.
Yeah, that's
Because I always remember him as Demolition. But yeah, the whole gimmick is just, yeah, it was stupid. But yeah, there was quite a few over the years that were really bad. Especially in the 90s, around 93, 94. They really brought out some odd characters.
There's a few of them. I'm trying to remember them.
Yeah, we could go on forever. This has been so many.
There is too many, but what about now? Now, would you say is there any now? Obviously,
Well, obviously it's Great Khali. Sin Cara I think's a waste of space, waste of skin altogether. Hornswoggle doesn't really wrestle anymore, so you can't bother about him. Jinder Mahal I'm not a fan of at all.
Oh yeah, I'm not a big fan of him.
But in general, there's nothing apart from that. JTG's not really worth keeping. Apart from that, I won't say there's anything bad. Kurt Hawkins is not a bad wrestler, just has no personality or anything to work with. But in general, it's not too bad now. It's not like it was then. Anyway, now before we finish, I just thought I'd mention RetroWrestling.com, who I get a lot of my promos from, who I'm sure a lot of you do as well. He does signings with many of the wrestlers in the past. He's had signings with Trish Stratus. He's had Lita, Velvet Sky, Edge, yeah, the Bellas. He's had Kelly as well, signing that is, and yeah, there's Maurice as well. He's had so many, there's just too many to list. That's just a small amount of them, but yeah, he's always doing some big signings. So if you haven't checked him out yet, it's RetroWrestling.com, and he's based in the UK. He ships to anywhere, as far as I know. So yeah, he's definitely worth checking out, and I thought I'd show some promos I got the other day. This is AJ. I don't know if you can see because the lighting's a bit rubbish in here today.
Can't really see it.
Yeah, you won't because I'm putting it right in front of you, blocking your face with it, but I'm showing you anyway. The lighting, these light bulbs in here are rubbish. That stuff that save energy and all that, but they're useless. There's AJ, another one. I've got 3 of hers in total. Yeah. Got a bit carried away with it, but yeah. There's another one.
AJ's my favourite.
This is one that got signed by the Bellas. This is the sort of thing you get when he does the signings.
Yeah, see, I didn't know the Bellas were
They
doing
personalise it. Yeah, it was about a month or 2 ago. But also I've got this really cool Shield promo, which hopefully at some point I'll get signed. The first Bray Wyatt promo, which is really cool. Needs to have one that's with all of them in it. This is from Velvet Sky when he did signing, which he looks very good in.
Did you only just get that one, yeah?
This one, yeah, and this one as well. He's done a few signing sessions with Velvet. I'm sure he'll do more in the future. He's also done with Angelina Love as well. But yeah, that's it for this week's show. Next week I think we'll do it on Saturday from Samantha's. I'll put you on via Skype again if you're alright. Saturday, yeah, Saturday will be fine. So we'll be basically previewing the pay-per-view that's coming up, Night of Champions, and talking about any other activity that's happened this week. Yeah, briefly before I go, there was a rumour that Lita was pregnant, and obviously that Punk was the daddy, but obviously that's just a rumour and it's not true, which I'd imagine Punk was probably quite relieved at, and he said later, Lita was probably quite happy about it, but she got the up with people on Twitter for putting a rumour up, because obviously it's not true. And also there's been a rumour about Randy Orton dating JoJo, which I find hard to believe because she's 19 and he's about 32. He's around my age, I think. So, yeah, I'll be doing the show then on Saturday. I'll probably post it up on Sunday, just during the day before the pay-per-view, so you can watch it then. Yeah, hopefully you keep watching our show. It's like the miniature version of Wrestle Talk, where obviously we don't have the money with production and all that, and we don't have TV view, but I'd like to think we're just as good as anything they do, apart from obviously we don't have the contacts to do interviews, but I'd like to think we talk as much sense as they do. But anyway, that's it for this week's show, and see you again next week. Bye.